Hey, Julie.
Hi,
How are you?
I'm great.
Guess who we got as a guest today?
Who's that?
Christie Ressel,
Ooh, she's a
part
good one.
one of a two-part series, Rise Through Style. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the Prime Podcast. I am super elated, excited. I have the fashionista of fashion. I have the smartest, most amazing woman in the world on hosting with me and Dr. Julie today. We have the amazing Christie Ressel. Christie, how are you doing?
Oh, I'm fabulous. It's nice to be back again. It's so lovely talking to you both.
Oh, it's so nice to see you. Like it's such an honor and a privilege to always have you here, and let alone to just get a chance to hang out with you, spend time with you. For those of you who don't know who Christie is, she is one of the smartest, most amazing fashion designers and curators in the world. She can come in and curate your closet. She can help you shop your closet. She can find your look, fit your shape, make you feel amazing. And there is nothing more amazing than having Christie to work with you. So welcome to our show. We've had you on here before, and you've had the fabulous pleasure of working with Dr. Julie in your closet.
I had the pleasure.
Yeah. So how was that experience?
Yeah, it was a pleasure for me too. I loved it.
The experience, well, truth to be told, like shopping in itself can be exhausting, and it was an exhausting weekend. But let me tell you, the breath of fresh air when I wake up and instead of looking in my closet and being like, full closet, I have nothing to wear. Now I have curated outfits, and I made sure like I was on point today, like making sure that it was an outfit that we kind of put together. But just of getting rid of all of the things that don't fit, because like, let's be honest, you're not going to fit back into those things ever. Or by the time you do, they're going to be outdated and outstyled. So it's just a pleasure to have you. Yeah. Have you in our space, in my space, and to just get rid of lots of boxes of clothing to a better home. But just to feel up leveled and refreshed was just an amazing experience.
Oh, I'm so glad. It was so much fun working with you. And it's one of those things, right, where we just don't realize sometimes the amount of things that we accumulate in our closet over the years, just from shopping that we've done, pleasant afternoons out, if we get a break or a moment to ourselves. And sometimes before we know it, we blink and you kind of look at things, you go, oh my gosh, where did all this stuff come from? And it's a situation where sometimes that can leave us in a state of overwhelm or even feeling lost because there's a million different personalities hanging out in our closet. So it's nice for all of us, myself included, even when I look in my own closet, to say, okay, it's time to do a bit of a call. We need to refresh on things here and make sure that it's in alignment with what I want for myself.
I think that is fantastic. And I think you hit it on the head that we have a million different personalities in our closets. I think that's not just a metaphor. Like we have such hard ties. And we talked about this when you were here, Christie, was the actual emotional ties we have to our clothes.
Yeah.
And how sometimes that can be really hard to let go. Could you expel a little bit on that? Because I think that's one of the biggest reasons why people can't go in, our moms and our dads out there, and particularly I think our moms, to go in and just take things out of our closet. We have such hard emotional ties. Why is that?
Oh my gosh, there's so many layers to it. The number one thing is I feel like our style informs our self-image, what we believe to be true about who we are. And so a lot of the time, if someone's wanting to go through a wardrobe refresh, whether it's a mom, male or female, doesn't matter. Sometimes we have this vision in our mind of, okay, this is the woman or man or person that I want to be. And when you're looking at your closet, you're saying, but that's not in there right now. And so then we start to struggle with, okay, well, there's this past or present version of myself and then the future version of who I want to be. And so when we go to purge some things out of our closet, it becomes this back and forth with ourselves internally of like, oh, can I be this person? What happens if I start to wear those types of clothes? Or what will people think if I start to become this person? And then it starts to roll into, well, what happens to my relationships? How does that affect everything? What will people think of me wanting to stand more fully as this person? And so it rolls into our identity as a whole. And this is why I love style, because it is one of the best self-development tools ever in terms of helping you narrow down your identity and how you want to see yourself, because that begins in your closet. And so when we dress to inform how we want to feel and how we want to show up in the world and the narrative we want to create, it's really powerful because we're seeing that reinforced every single time we look in the mirror. And it's like, oh, yeah, I am that badass that I'm looking at in the mirror, like I see her. And so it starts to shift like our posture, our energy, everything. But that initial step to take and make that decision to start having that clothing, in your closet can be a bit of a scary one for some people and an overwhelming one when you think, well, where do I even begin?
Start.
And so there's so many emotions that come into play of, again, that expansive desire that we have for ourselves in our closet, but also the release of letting go of the old identity of what no longer resonates. It's so fascinating. There's a lot of layers to it.
Well, I don't know. What is your thought on that? I think it's pretty damn accurate.
I would agree.
Yeah.
I would agree. And I think sometimes I think as a woman, we may want to like step out, but then it's like, well, I can't wear that because I've seen so-and-so wear that and they're maybe to this status or to this level. Whereas if we would just get out of our heads and we put that outfit on, then we're going to feel and then we're going to look the part. And it's exponential, the things that like what you put on when you feel good in it, of how you feel and the energy that you portray. And then if it's business, if it's even like your kids, just getting that respect, you command it when you're wearing something that empowers you.
100%. And it can all be done in baby steps too, right? Like if your desire maybe is to be more bold or just a simple act of looking a little more clean and kempt and put together, right? If for any of my stay-at-home moms, let's say, for example, sometimes I've had my clients start with something very simple where instead of grabbing, their husband's grubby t-shirt, let's say, they might grab, a t-shirt that feels a little bit more clean and fitted to their silhouette, or perhaps instead of throwing their hair in a top knot, maybe they actually take the time to blow dry it, or maybe it's just a colorful lip gloss or something that just makes you feel a little bit more polished than what you did the day before. And those baby steps, those habits start to compound themselves and it starts to, again, show up in everything. And I always say to women, like we are worth the self-time and care because the energy we pour into ourselves is ultimately the energy that we end up pouring into our families, our relationships, our work. And the better the energy that you're giving out, the better the work that you're going to produce, whether that's the work in your kids and how you're raising them, your relationship, your work and how you deal with your clients, everything. Energy is your biggest currency.
Currency is energy, whether it's a fiat currency or your energy being put into it, whether it's your personal, physical, mental, or emotional, like that's a massive thing. And I can't resonate that enough because I look at how I put myself together. I look at how I represent myself all the time. And Julie actually wore on me when we first met in college. You wouldn't catch me in a t-shirt. You wouldn't catch me in anything. Like it was always button down Oxfords. And then she's like, you're just going to Walmart. Why do you need that polo shirt on? And it was who I was. It was my identity. It's what I love to present myself as. And I'm slowly reinventing myself after 15 years of that, learning from Julie to go back to what I was. But it is how you represent it. And you hear coach after coach talk about this all the time. And I've heard you talk about this too, Christie. And I remember working with Ogie at one point too, was how you do anything is how you do everything. Yes. And how you show up in your day is how you're going to show up that day fully. How you start your week is how you show up for your whole week. And for my moms out there and my dads, it feels really good to dress up. It feels really good to put yourself together. And my question is for some out there is why not do it? And why not have that feeling behind it? And even if it is putting on lip gloss that day or putting on a really nice blouse or even putting on a nice pair of pants that looks good or makes you feel good, it raises your energy up. It raises your vibration. It helps you with your children. It helps you with your spouse and your husband or vice versa. My dad's out there that we can keep ourselves put together. We don't need to just wear the same camouflage t-shirt all the time or the same Lee jeans. Like we can put ourselves together. And then what happens? Your wife looks at you a little bit differently that day. Or maybe she says your butt looks good in those jeans. Finally, after 15 years, something like that.
I have yet to find those jeans.
Whatever. Yeah, well, that's true. I have a piece of plywood in back and there's no shape. Trust me.
Well, and I think the other thing too, like to tie into what you're saying is that style is a form of leadership. I think really, because we have to lead ourselves and raise our own standard if we want the standard of our life to also raise. And that begins with us, right? If we want that, the better income, the better relationship, the better wardrobe in general, it doesn't all of a sudden just poof happen and you wake up and you're like, of course, I'm finally the person I want to be. I'll start dressing as her today. How fabulous. And all the income's in my bank. But we have to practice being that person. And so if we want that wardrobe, if we want that energy, if we want the lovely things around us, it starts by leading ourselves with also treating ourselves with that same level of leadership, respect, and high quality. And again, that just goes into the self-care that we start with at the beginning of the day. So if it's a choice truly to feel better, and this doesn't mean you have to be dressed to the nines, but if it's just a matter of simply choosing how you want to feel during the day, why not choose one that empowers you and makes you feel like you've stepped into a new standard for yourself?
What do you feel on that? Because that is huge.
I was just thinking like I was looking for a rebuttal, right? So like we're having this conversation, we bring that up to somebody like a mom that's maybe at home exhausted with like a brand new baby. Sometimes it's not like I don't have time to go shopping. It is literally just being able to step into that shower and giving yourself some time to physically like wash your hair, like, or, you know, take a bath. And I think it's just that rejuvenation that this is, you know, it's not a one size fits all. We all need to do the same thing. It's going to be different for each person, depending upon what stage of life that they're in. But everybody can do something just to up level, just to give themselves a better feeling, a better experience for the day, which then translates to everybody else that they encounter.
100%. And for those of you, for those that are listening that think, you know, maybe you are in a situation where comfort rules your life. Not that none of us don't want to be comfortable, but where comfortable is a major priority. You know, treating yourself to an up level could look like, you know, getting yourself a really beautiful, well-made, snuggly sweater, so that when you are looking after the kids, you are in something that's a refined version of maybe the old grubby sweater that with holes in it that you're throwing on, let's say, for example. So again, it's just something that gives you a little bit of fun or puts a smile on your face. Like maybe the sweater that you choose is a beautiful color, or the material is lovely, or maybe it's got a fun pattern, again, that just brings a smile to your face. Like I know Julie loves her leopard, and like that's her signature thing, right? And so again, like allow yourself to be playful for your closet, not just getting caught up in all the rules, because again, what you allow to come into your closet should not only reflect the person that you're becoming, but it should also reflect, you know, the happiness that you want to create for yourself. And that comes and gets infused in the fabrics, the prints, the colors, and everything else. It's so much fun.
And sorry.
No, go ahead.
I think that was my first struggle when I was presented with this gift with you. Like, I don't know the first thing about fashion. And so that was my hesitation of like, how am I ever going to be able to do this? But like what you just said, I don't have to be like the top fashion, because I still have my pieces that make me, that there's always that animal print. And I remember the exact thing that you said when you looked at my closet, that my struggle was because I had all of the prints and I had all the color. I didn't have the normal blacks, whites, tans, the basics. So yeah. That shopping trip was a little bit different, I think, for us. And so I look forward to maybe when we can zhuzh it up with some more prints and colors. But I think that's also the other thing of like, somebody's like, well, I'm in Green Bay, like I'm in the Midwest. Fashion, you know, isn't top priority here, but you can still up level if it's with an outside garment, like that's what you taught, or jewelry or the lipstick, but you can still have those snuggly items. You can still have those comfort items. That's still your personality, which is what I love.
Yeah, style is not about being somebody that you're not. And it's not about looking like you just stripped yourself off the runway. And it's not about being uncomfortable and again, like dress to the nines. I think people, especially women, when they hear style, sometimes it automatically goes to this picture of heels and gloss and like this very like dressy presentation.
Like high fashion.
Yeah, 100%. And it's just not like that. Sometimes style is sneakers and a graphic tee with your favorite band on it and your favorite pair of jeans that make your butt look fantastic, but you also feel so comfortable and it snatches up the waist the way you want it to. And sometimes that's it, right? And so again, it just allows you to live your life. It has to work for your lifestyle, period. And so whether you're in the Midwest, you're in a metropolitan city, you're in the south of France, like I don't know, wherever, you know, your fashion has to feel functional and has to be functional first and foremost. And it also has to represent you. And the beautiful thing about all of us, and this is what I love about fashion, is that we all are so very different. Some people want the minimalistic, you know, like sleek style. Other people want playful and warm and colorful and quirky, and other people want boho. And again, it gets to be all of those things, and you get to express yourself accordingly and define what style means for you, but using it as a tool as well to not only help you get ahead, but also just help you feel how you want to feel.
I think coming back to something that Julie had talked about was with our moms out there and with our families, and a lot of our moms are the main caretakers in the household. To have time to take care of yourself is key. And I want to empower my moms out there is talk to your husbands, talk to your partners, and tell them when you need time. Tell them when you need time in your day, when you need time for you. And sometimes it could be just reading a book. Sometimes it could be just taking the kids for 15 to 20 minutes, but it's time for you to reflect on yourself and help yourself, whether it's take a bath, take a shower, put your hair up, do whatever it does to make you change your mindset of being just kind of stuck in the same rut, but then coming out of that and changing your life and having your spouse around you and telling them, like, I need this time. Can I have 20 minutes? I'm going to take 30 minutes to take a shower, take a bath, do time. Because when my moms come in, it's amazing because I'll look at them and say like, oh my gosh, your hair looks amazing. Thanks. I showered. But it looks really pretty. And it's like, I took time to do it today. Well, how do you feel? I feel amazing. Well, we need to take more time to help that because it brings the family dynamic up an entire level because you're running at a different level. You're feeling better. Your vibe is totally different. And it can come down to something as simple as just having some time for yourself.
Absolutely.
I think now let's go to one question here, Christy, that I think we need to really talk about, and that is fit and finish, because the fit and the finish of your clothing is actually what makes the clothing look good on you, correct?
Yes, it's fit and finish on an outfit is king. It's what makes it'll make or break an outfit for sure.
Let's get down on this. First off, let's start with undergarments. Okay. Let's start undergarments. Let's start bras and let's start underwear.
Okay.
Perfect, good fitting bra. Go.
Well, it's different for every woman. So there's not a one size fits all for a brand or anything like that. But I will say that, ladies, it's really important. Go to a local boutique in your area rather than a large department store and get fitted properly for a bra. Women out there are wearing the wrong size, the wrong cup size, and a store that's catering to lingerie for women in particular, they know their stuff. And from them, just go get a proper fitting just so you know what your size is, because if the girls are sitting properly, the whole rest of the outfit will look different, right? Whereas if you look like you can tuck them into your waistband, that's a totally different vibe that we're not going for. So it'll make you feel empowered just to have some beautiful undergarments that properly support you and make your clothing look beautiful, just like would wear. Again, like obviously the sizing is a little bit more general there, but get something that makes you feel good, whether it's again a cute color or print or whatever, but make sure it's comfortable for you, because it's kind of nice to pull out something that's either sexy or playful or again just comfy in general that you like to pull out of the drawer in the morning. That's the first step to feeling good, but it completely just changes the way that your clothing fits. And so I always recommend to women to either get like a beautiful t-shirt, ones that have a bit of a satin finish, just because it won't tug and create friction when you put t-shirts and things like that over top of it. Lace and things of those nature are a little bit tougher because you don't want to see the lace coming through the texture of your t-shirts. And so those are better under textured sweaters, let's say, for example, where the lace won't peek through the fabric. But good bras and non-negotiable.
Okay, awesome. Yeah. That's good, because I think that is incredibly important for our moms and our business women out there that listen to this and service professionals that's a huge deal. And we see it all the time in chiropractic and in healthcare with back problems, neck problems, shoulder problems, arm problems, because of ill supporting bras that don't fit properly. And it's not the massive push-up bras that seem to be helping the moms out the most. It's the ones that provide really good comfort, have a very good strap along the sides and good straps along the top to actually provide proper support.
But I do have to do a shout out. So mamas, if you are more than 12 to 18 months postpartum and you are no longer breastfeeding, or if your child is a year and older, those breastfeeding tanks need to go.
Yes.
100%.
That's you're like, I remember when you let those go, you had them for a while.
Right. But that's where I think that is that first like parenthood, that mama step of, okay, if we can get rid of that, then everything is smooth sailing.
So
Yes.
Christie, let's jump into now. We talked about undergarments and bras, which I think is incredibly important. You talked about lace, which is really important to understand too. But then if we let's work bottom up. So let's talk bottoms, let's talk pants, let's talk rise of the waistline, because you had said this in Julie's closet. Literally, you said words out of your mouth. No woman should ever have a muffin top. Those
That's right.
don't actually
Muffin tops
exist.
don't exist. They don't exist.
So let's talk about that.